July 19th, 2021. The date that almost a superhero, Nikki A.S.H, cashed in her way to Scottish wrestling history. On that date, she became the WWE Raw Women's Champion. What an amazing achievement she has performed, genuinely. The night before was, of course, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Soon as I record this, I haven't watched the entirety of that. I watched about 75 to 80% of it, including, of course, that Mrs. I don't like that, to be honest. Mrs. Money in the Bank. It should really just be the women's Money in the Bank match, where several female superstars, and I think, to be honest, Alexa Bliss and Natalya were two of the stars of that match. I'm not trying to say that any of the rest of the women were awful, but they two really certainly looked like, to me, were a couple of the stars of the match. And at the end, we saw Nikki clamber up the ladder, scramble over a few of her opponents, and retrieve that Money in the Bank briefcase to become the women's Money in the Bank briefcase holder, the Mrs. Money in the Bank. I don't like that. I really do not like that term. But anyway, Nikki is the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. And, I could swear I've seen her attempt a similar tactic in a similar match somewhere before. I don't think it worked out for her on that occasion. I'm pretty sure it didn't. But maybe it was just practice for the big occasion, like last Sunday. Then move forward back to July 19, 2021. That date's edition of WWE Raw. Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair was the rematch from the previous night from that pay-per-view. Charlotte successfully really defending the title before Rhea Ripley left Charlotte laying. The one thing I will say about the Nikki cashing in moment, I think that playing her music and her running down to the ring was just slightly too early. Rhea Ripley was still kind of laying out Charlotte and throwing her back in the ring. I know it's kind of an atypical cash in now that the champion is lying prone in the ring when whoever has the contract or the Money in the Bank briefcase runs down when the champion is laying prone in the ring. But I think it's an atypical, stereotypical thing now, but I would like to have had them wait just like 10 to 30 seconds so Charlotte was lying prone in the ring for Nikki to come running down to the ring with her music playing. I think that moment occurred just slightly too early. Whether that was intentional or accidental, I don't know, but for me, just my personal taste, I would have liked it to happen just a little bit later. Saying that though, Nikki performing that diving crossbody, and I will actually also interject myself by saying what an amazing crossbody she performed at the pay-per-view. In fact, if you look at it, the ladder slightly slipped from under her feet, which gave me a bit of a fright. And to be honest, I'd watched it on the delay. I watched it on Monday rather than live. I knew the results. I knew that she was winning. I know all the results from Money in the Bank. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. But that diving crossbody she did at the pay-per-view, where the ladder slipped from under her feet, that was a little bit of a scary moment. Luckily, she was able to dive properly enough onto her opponents that she didn't get injured, thankfully. Especially considering that she had another diving crossbody to do onto Charlotte Flair. So Nikki ran down with the briefcase. She climbed the top rope. Charlotte groggily got up. Nikki did the diving crossbody, pinned Charlotte Flair for the 1, 2, 3, and become the WWE Raw Women's Champion. Something I should really say is what an amazing person to actually cashed that briefcase in Charlotte Flair. One of the best women's wrestlers around right now. One of the top talents in women's wrestling right now is Charlotte Flair, without any doubt. So to see Nikki cash it in on Charlotte, with Charlotte being the person to have it cashed in on, that is just an amazing achievement in itself. I know not everybody is a fan of Nikki's current character and persona. I'm hoping, I know Nikki wants to be inspirational, and she's a really nice lady. I've talked to her a few times. I'm not going to say I've seen her live more than anybody, because obviously with things in Glasgow, etc., many people have seen her more times than me, but I've seen her locally and in Edinburgh, and I think in certainly a few shows in Glasgow. Spoke to her a few times, got a picture with her, of course. Nikki's current character is a long way from what the character she's been for the last about 11 years. She started training in 2008, started appearing shows in 2010. And, even before I saw her, which I think I may have even just saw her around about 2012, I'd already heard of her. I'd already heard that she was an up-and-coming talent to keep an eye on, that she was a tremendous talent that needs attention from fans to keep an eye on, watch. She might go somewhere. Even in those very early days, and I'm not exaggerating, I'm not just saying it because she's Raw Women's Champion now. Genuinely, that was the case. That was what the word that was going around the UK wrestling scene. Keep an eye on Nikki Storm. And she's always been, like I said, her character's always been different. She's always had a temper. She's always had a bit of an ego on the UK independent scene. Trust me, I've seen her temper before. In character temper, obviously. I'm meaning when performing in the ring. Like I said, she's really nice outside the ring. But certainly she had a bit of an ego, a bit of a temper, and saying all that, she's been a tremendous talent, and I know people would have preferred her to remain that way and in the sanity kind of character that she was, rather than the superhero. But I'm really hoping this superhero character takes off the way it looks like it might, and it looks like it's already starting to, with them starting to do live events like they did in Philadelphia. I really hope she can get this character run for several years. Would really like to see her become a huge success, main eventer in WWE in the years to come. And let's be honest, okay, being a fan of Nikki for almost a decade now, 9 years at least, yes, I would have liked to have seen Nikki personally winning the title at a match at WrestleMania. But it's just like a football or an NFL or anything. It's like a last minute goal in football or a Hail Mary pass in American football. If you were told that that your favourite team or your country was able to win a competition with a last minute score, or go to the finals of that competition but not necessarily win, you take it. And in this instance, especially from a Scottish point of view, which I'll talk about shortly, yes, I would like to have seen her win a main event at WrestleMania or a match at WrestleMania for the Raw Women's Championship, but I would take a cash-in. I would take a cash-in every day of the week, without a doubt. If it's between a cash-in and she wins the title, or a match at WrestleMania where it's not guaranteed she wins, I would take the cash-in every single time. So, like I said, Nikki winning that WWE Raw Women's Champion, what does it mean from a Scottish perspective? Well, it means an awful lot. There's been a lot of UK influence over the last 5-10 years in the WWE with the trainers like Robbie Brookside, William Regal, Dave Taylor, Finlay, NXT UK now being part of the company, obviously, but from a purely Scottish point of view, we never honestly thought we would see Scottish champions in WWE. When Drew McIntyre got released, we kind of thought that was it. There's been others that have kind of been involved in Scotland but not really Scottish-born wrestlers that have had success in major American promotions or even major worldwide promotions. We thought that was it, and then to see within the space of approximately 15 months, Drew McIntyre defeat Brock Lesnar at a WrestleMania. I know it was pre-taped, we know, and all the situation with the pandemic, but to see him win the WWE Championship, and then approximately 15 months later, to see Nikki, almost a superhero, Nikki A.S.H, win the WWE Raw Women's Championship, is just an amazing and very proud moment for us Scots. I will not lie. I'm not just saying all this because she's Scottish and because she's won the title. It's true, we are really proud of her. There was a little bit on STV News a few days ago. They didn't really embrace, they didn't really emphasise how important, how historic her title win was. Unfortunately, it was like, hey, a Scottish woman has won a major title, yeah, but this is the first one, this is so historic, and this is 15 months after Drew McIntyre had become the WWE champion. So that wasn't really emphasised, unfortunately, in that news report. But as a Scotsman, as Scots scene, I think we're all really extremely proud of Nikki and Drew, of course, of winning their title. So congratulations to both of them. Major congratulations to Nikki. Like I said, I've seen how hard she works, how much effort she's put in over this past 13 odd years in pro wrestling. And like I said, I genuinely, like many people, don't like her character. Maybe she'll change character at some point, but going back to the sanity stuff, or maybe I kind of hope that this superhero thing will run and run, because she came up with it by herself. She's put the pieces together literally by her, well, with a little bit of help from her husband, who's, again, that release, I don't think I really uploaded that video, but I was really kind of bummed to see Killian Dane being released, but I know he'll do great on the independent scene when his 90-day period is up. I'm sure he'll do it brilliantly. He's already got t-shirts and stuff for sale on Pro Wrestling Tees, I think it is. Certainly, but whatever site it is, check his Twitter. But hopefully this will run and run for Nikki. I'm so happy for her success, and genuinely, this is a very historic and amazing thing. In the space of approximately 15 months, to see both a male and now a female world singles champion. And I know in the history of wrestling there's been many championships and many titles that have proclaimed themselves to be world champions, but certainly this has never happened. And certainly in a major promotion in the world, certainly a major American promotion, and let's be honest, in a promotion that means something. This has never happened before, and obviously this is the only time it's going to happen in terms of firsts. But as a Scotsman, as somebody who's Scottish, I know that the reaction amongst my friends has been tremendous to both title victories. But so to see in the space of 15 months a male and female singles world champion is a tremendous thing. Again, congratulations to both. Major congratulations to Nikki. I can't wait to see what she does with it. Hope she's really kicking it to the next level. Not everybody is a fan, but I am. Many of the Scots are fans, and I know WWE is coming to the UK in September. I really hope that she is still the champion, or holding the championship at least when they come over, because we're not going to get the chance at the moment. It's not written, or not the way it is, that we'll see Drew as champion when he come over. I mean, to see Drew and Nikki being both champions, if WWE comes to Scotland, that would just be an amazing dream come true for everybody. But right now it doesn't look likely that it's going to happen. But both of them have achieved world championships, and certainly as a Scotsman, I could not be more proud of both of them.